Hello, hello, hello. Looks like we are live. Hey guys, back with some Miller Edition, Warlords Redux Miller Edition streaming. And this is kind of an impromptu stream. I didn't plan on doing this today, but I just had a really good idea. So we're going to work on that. So, okay, so that's GitHub. Now we need VS Code. Sweet. And we also need Steam, because we're going to have to go into game and test. There we go. Okay, and stream-wise, I toned the settings down a little bit because our last stream, let's do that. Push that off camera. Oh, that's it? Okay, cool. So yeah, I toned the stream setting down just a little bit because I was trying to see how extreme I could go last stream with them. And it was causing like frame drops on the stream end. Didn't look very good. I mean, it looked nice, but it was this frames dropping was not good, so I dialed it back quite a bit. Okay, so let's talk about what we are going to do today. So the zone restriction handle, if you guys remember, this script causes a really nasty bug, throws its thousands of errors every second when this thing bugs out. And what we did is we fixed that, and the in-game lore behind it being it's the bubble around town is like an anti-access error denial. Like if you go inside of it, it's kills you kind of thing. But I thought about it and I was like, you know, I bet I can add a z-axis to this. And the z-axis being, it kind of improves the lore behind it. So we'll say every sector is a garrison that's manned by a unit. And the unit has, you know, some kind of man-portable weapon system. You know, you fly into the zone and then they shoot the man-portable SAM at you. Let's call it man-pad. You know, and that's what this is doing. But reality is a man-pad's just not going to be able to reach up. If you're flying around at 5,000 meters, a man-pad is not going to reach up there and get you. And then our practical gameplay-wise, in real life, generally what we do is it's called a high-low-high mission profile. So you're up at, you know, high IFR type altitudes. Then, you know, you're at a mission. That's transit to and back from your mission area. Then in your mission area, you're generally at whatever your mission altitude is, which that's where the low comes from. You know, back in the day, dropping dumb bombs or a transport plane doing airdrop, you obviously have to get way low compared to what you do today dropping smart weapons. But that's the concept. Then on the way back from the mission area back to your base, you're at a high mix again because you're just up at altitude cruising back and forth. So that is a high-low-high mission profile. And I wanted to add a z-axis to simulate that. So while you're transiting back and forth from the mission area, you don't have to worry about every single AO killing you, which reduces the workload a little bit. But if you want to get down low enough to actually fight, you're going to have to start dealing with navigation and threat bubbles and stuff like that. So it seems like a good compromise. And the way I did this is, so this is the trespasser array being set up. And it's looking at for each all warlords, which is players. Then it's grabbing their position. And this position, as opposed to get position, this is above sea level, whereas get position is above terrain, I think. It says in the wiki, don't use this for 3D space, but we're going to try it. Because seems like it would spit out XYZ. In fact, the wiki specifically said it spits out XYZ. And the target is alive. And then this is the part where I added. So there was an and here, and then it had all these position statements and their position on their x. If their position x is less than 0, if position y is less than 0, position x is greater than the map size, or position y is greater than map size. So this just turns it on when you leave the boundaries of the map. So what I did is I added a z-coordinate position. So this is the second element in an array, but which array start at 0, so that's the third position, which is x. And for the sake of testing, I think I got that logic backwards there. No, yeah, this is correct, because we want them inside the, if they're a trespasser. So for our testing, we were going to leave this at 500, so we can go in a game and test it really easy with like a helicopter. But I'm going to make this default to 4,000. Because that's, in the US, that's generally your transition altitude from local to IFR altimeters. But around the world, it's much different. Like Europe, they have all kinds of different transition altitudes and stuff. But that's the lore, and that's the tech behind it. So the script has to kill somebody when they go inside the zone in order to stop it from spamming errors. But I don't want it killing pilots that are flying around at altitude. Just to give them the option of having a way to transit back and forth to the front line without having to worry about all those zones. And Mr. Thomas gave us permission to some of his code, which is cool. I'll explain that when we get to that. See if I can remember how to do stuff. Yeah, not Warlords. Ooh, and tonight's stream, we are going to be starting a new Warlords project for Arma 4. Pretty cool. Okay, hopefully we get lucky and we start on a helicopter zone. We did not, but there is a helicopter zone right next to us, so it's okay.
Warlords protocol initialized. Voting for the next sector.
That's not good. Okay, so I did have that logic backwards. Okay, well, we know it works. That is, am I ever going to be able to live, though? Oh, that's interesting. So I think I know why it did that. Okay, so I think what we're going to do on that to stop that from happening is I think we may need to find out where all the initials spawn. So there is a chunk of the map. Oh, it's going to kill me anytime I'm below 500 meters. Interesting. Okay, so we're going to have to go back and look at that logic a little bit. I know it's working. It's working in a way we don't want it to work. Actually, let's go back to the editor real quick. I want to see if those... So when you actually join the game, you are sitting like right around here on the map, which is really close to Frini. Okay, that's outside the... Because this is where you actually start the game at, and then it teleports you to your base. Okay, so... I wonder if get position is going to be a better solution for us. Okay, so we're going to go back, re-look up whether I should be using position or get position, because the wiki made it sound like you should be using get position if you wanted a 3D. I'm just checking out the wiki real quick here. Oh, okay, they actually have a really good example here. Okay. So the output for position and get position seems exactly the same. So what I need to do is add some kind of... How in the world would I do this? Guess we could flip the logic around here. I may be thinking about this completely wrong. So we know it just killed somebody underneath 500 meters. But now I'm extremely worried that if I'm outside of a sector and my position is over 500 meters, that it's going to kill me. Because I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen here. In fact, I'm about 99% sure as soon as I fly above 500 meters, but we'll go and test this real quick, then we'll keep working on the logic there. Because originally what I thought that trespasser code would only run if you were inside. Like it wouldn't even run the code unless you were inside a sector.
Warlords protocol initialized. Voting for the next sector.
Interesting, it's just gonna... I think we need to scrap that entirely and rethink what we're doing here. I'll put that there. I'll do... Okay, here we go. Stick this right here. So, seems pretty clear at this point that this code is running anytime any one of these is positive. So like when you get outside the map boundary or you get underneath the map, that's going to run. So that may have just been the wrong spot to mess with that. This may actually be the section I want. So for this side, it's just setting up the warlords, seeing if you're live. This is adding UAVs. This line is the restricted sectors are all sectors. Then this is my zone restriction trigger. And it's just selecting the side. And then here's my trespasser. And again, it's setting up an array for trespassers. So appending it to the end for each warlord's in area. But again, this is legacy code right here, which I don't have access to. So I'm gonna have to Ah, here we go. Set trigger area. Boom. X, Y, Z. There we go. Okay, so let's try this again. Where was that? Ah, here it is. So let's go double check our trigger area on the wiki. Wow, this article is horrible. So they use set trigger, they use A, B. Oh my goodness. Dude. What a weird way to do this. Oh, this is why there was no z-axis. This z-axis to your set trigger area only got added recently. Huh. Okay, and this will be 500, and this will be AGL. Cool. Let's try this again. So I had the right idea, I was just trying to execute it in the wrong place. Oh, so now okay, I see. I'll show you what's up. So since this is a new parameter, the zone restriction code does not have the extra spot for it, for the z-axis. If I manage to read that error message fast enough. Let's go double check though. Just get me my folders. There we go. Okay, here we go. So here it's getting in the position statement, it's getting the X, Y position, but it has nothing for the Z So it's throwing, every time I was trying to set up a sector, a zone restriction, it was throwing that error. Okay. That makes sense because we just added that. So let's go back to zone restriction. And what we need to do here is add a z-axis right here. Although something we need to be aware of here, that zone restriction is going to be based off the center of the zone as an AGL height, and we already know from the way zones work that if you're downhill from a script, the max season height code doesn't work. So this code might, we're going to have to test this. There's a chance this right here kills you if you go below the zone. Because that's what these other ones are going to do. Because you can't really get a number less than 0 on your X and Y. But Z is a whole another story. You can go way negative on Z. So we'll try this initially, and we're going to go, I think I may go jump in the ocean inside a zone. Or find a zone with a hill and test that real quick, because I'm pretty sure that's going to kill me. Okay, so we just got the same error again, even though okay, let's go compare our error messages, see what we got. Easier for you guys to see a little bit. Okay, maybe that was my mistake here. Let's go check GitHub here. Ah, that or statement. Ah, yep. Okay, I was doing that all wrong. So let's undo. So I don't know if you guys can see here, but this and statement, I accidentally added a or after the ands, which broke everything. That was not what I was. So let's revert everything we just did. Although that may be a thing. So I am 99% sure this kills somebody. That code right there. Anytime someone got below a zone, they would die. I swear they didn't throw an error the first time we did this, so. Okay, there we go. We now have no changes on that. So let's see what error we throw. I think it's still going to throw an error, but we need to figure out what error it's throwing at us. Because the position array should still be a 3. Should still be 3 things. It just doesn't need the other one, so I don't know why it's throwing error. Doesn't need the final. There we go. Fixed. Okay, and now there's a helipad right over there.
Warlords protocol initialized. Voting for the next sector.
And I'm not dead. This is big. This is a big win.
Select sector. Sector selected. Select destination.
It's been so long I kind of forgot how to play and do all my cheat codes. What do I do? Okay, I gotta fix my mouse here. I need auto walk.
Sector seized. Voting for the next sector.
Ooh, these ramps are cool.
Select
Okay, let's
sector.
vote for something way out in the middle of nowhere. Aircraft, hummingbird.
Select sector.
This is the real reason I set this to 500 for a test, because I was like, dude, it's going to take forever. I originally set the test at 1,000 meters. And I was like, dude, there's no way I'm climbing a hummingbird all the way up to 1,000 meters. Where are you going? Oh, the helipads. Yeah, I forgot about that. This is going to be pretty fun too, because we're in a hilly area, so it's going to make it a really good test here. So we're going to go fly all the way down here to Citra. And Citra is above sea level, so I can verify. According to the wiki, this is going to be based on AGL, which is good because it'll match my altimeter of the aircraft. So what I'm gonna do is I'll fly over this peak here, and I'll try to get up to 500 meters as I cross this peak, which I know will put me 500 meters above site, because site is below this peak. Okay, so we're 400 meters. Terrain is rising faster than I'm climbing. Okay, so we're 375 over that peak. And now as we cross the peak, you can see I'm like rapidly climbing, even though I'm not actually climbing at all. And there we go, we're above 500 meters. And we are inside this. Oh, it worked! Look, we're inside the zone. Not dead. Oh, never mind, I am dead. Crap. Ah! Wait. Oh, I thought it didn't blow up there for a second. Okay. Test number 1. Maybe I got a little overly excited there. I wonder if a ghost hawk will be able to climb faster.
Select destination. Destination selected.
Tell you what, we're gonna take a Huron. Oh, it climbs faster.
Select sector.
So to be honest, what I should... Oh, you know what? Did I save that? Yes, I did save it. Okay. Just double checking everything here. So what I am wondering right here, so this enemies trigger does not have a Z-axis on it. This may be the next thing we work on. Reveal, okay, don't need to worry about that. Oh, I completely missed. Oh, this is where you do this. Oh. I did not realize there was multiple places to do that. Okay, so let's exit out and fix that. And something I also realized, the z-axis I'm putting on there, it's always divided by 2. So whatever I put here, it's going to be half. So keep it at 500 meters. That'll give us a 250 meter test, AGL. All right, let's try this again. And if this doesn't work, we'll do that enemy check, because the enemy check has no z-axis on it. Oh, cool. Caval appears right there, and I have a zone to test on at sea level. Nice. This is actually the ideal setup for testing this.
Select sector. Sector selected. Select destination. Destination selected. Sector seized. Voting
And
for
we
the
are
next
not going to vote
sector.
for Kavala because we want to keep
Select
Kavala
sector.
as our test sector. Literally the perfect place to test this. And I'll use a Huron.
Select sector.
And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to peek right into this sector around 300 meters and I'll back out. See if I die. Then what I'm going to do is I'm actually come up here to Agilatory if I don't die. Then I'm going to peek in this shaded area right here on Agilatory. Oh no. That is like unfortunate. Really doing exactly what they're supposed to do. I just forgot about that. Can I even get up there because of the zone restriction? I don't think I can get up there. Yeah, I cannot get up there. Oh. That's fortunate. I'll talk about your edge case, man. That's
Select sector.
So I think I may just have to fill that entire aircraft carrier up. Oh, nope, he was far enough away. So I remember right, I put 2 or 3 landing zones up there. I was worried I was going to have to fill all the spots up there. Okay, so our test is going to be, we're just going to dip in at about 300 meters and to about see if we explode. If we do explode, then what we think is going on is actually enemy trigger, since the enemy trigger has an infinite Z height because it's undefined. We'll have to go adjust that. Okay, we're above 250 meters. And 300 meters, and I just dipped in, and it kills me. Okay, so next test. Actually, we got one more test to do. I want to go all the way up to 500 meters and see if I'm just getting the Z-axis wrong here. Because for max capping height, the way it works.
Select destination.
For the
Destination
rectangle
selected.
zones, I know it's exactly 1/2 of Z, but the ellipse zones were always weird. I could never actually figure the exact math out, so.
Select sector.
Just to keep myself sane, I'm going to fly around while I climb here since we got quite a ways to climb. Okay, 250 meters. Let's go ahead and start turning inbound. I for real thought this was going to be like a 2-minute fix. I was like, I'll just add a Z-axis and it'll be done. Okay, we're at 700 meters. $800 meters. Okay, so now I am absolutely sure I've taken every possible scenario out of this. If this happens this time, we know it's the enemy check. That has an infinite Z value. And we are not dead. We did it, boys. We did it. So now I'm going to touch the other shaded gray area. That was fail. Let's try backing into it. Okay, we're currently at just under 900 meters. Right at 900 meters. And we're sitting in the outer shaded area, but not the actual cap zone. Okay, cool. Alright, so I need to go find a rectangular zone. There's Core Factory. Although the area around us is a circle. Ah, it's gonna mess everything up. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to go figure out the altitude of Core Factory here. Oh, actually, power plant is a square. Cool. And I think power plant is, try to come up with the altitude here. 0, 13, 13. $30, but that, I know that's well above. 18, okay, right there. 18, altitude's 18. So we're gonna go into the restricted zone at 520 meters, which will give us 2 meters of slop. Because I want to see if the circle around it is based on it being a rectangle or a circle. I think it's a circle because the set area trigger is false under the rectangle. So it's going to be that kind of ellipse thing, which for some reason the way the game engine does math on z-axis or z-axis being divided by 2 on the ellipse is really strange. Okay, we're at 460. We'll start bleeding off some speed here. And we're going to have some altitude fluctuation as we come over the coast here because there's some terrain. I'll do my best to fly level while sitting in third person. Okay, we are at 520 over the ocean. And we are not dead. Okay, now I am descending low 500. Okay, and boom, I'm dead. So yeah. So as soon as I descended below 500, it tagged me. Okay. So the cylinders aren't really z divided by 2. Well, that makes this really easy. I was worried I was going to have to do some weird math. That was pretty easy. Okay, cool. So we've tested that. We need to write some patch notes. Patch notes. How do I want to word this? Okay, for here, I'm just going to say what I actually did added Z access to zone restriction. But patch note, I need to explain this a little bit simpler. I'll just type the same thing. Added max Z height to zone restrictions. How do I explain this? I had a really good way of explaining this earlier. I completely forgot what it was. I don't like that. I want to like be added VFR altitude. Spelled that correctly. And this is called transition altitude. So what you do in real life when you're flying VFR, you're setting a local altimeter, and when you're flying at IFR altitudes, you have a standard altimeter, which is 2992 in the US, or I think it's 1013 when you're using millibars, or 1018, I can't remember. But that's so all aircraft flying up at IFR altitudes, which again, it varies by where you're flying, but 13,000 on the ascent and descent is generally when you would swap to your VFR altitude. But I think in the US actual IFR altitudes start at like flight level 180. I think. It's been a long time. Um, anti-access. Anti-access. Area denial. Okay, so that'll be that patch note. Now I need to get this on GitHub, and then I'm going to make this customizable. But I just want to have a working solution up first. Okay, I can discard that change because I don't need this. Okay. Cool. Let me double check on GitHub. All right, now let's make this customizable or configurable, I should say. Let's go. So we're gonna define. Um, First off, we're gonna set this to 4,000. Default 4,000. What should I name this? What would be a, I just want to call it transition altitude. This makes sense to me, but I don't know if this would make sense to... Cool. That seems easy enough. So then I just toss this into my sort sector array here. Right there. Boom. And now the bad part. I actually need to go in and test this, so let's set this to something reasonable. For this test, I'm just going to set that to 200. And let's jump in game and double check to make sure that works. Oh no. Do I have... Okay, let's... There we go. Go capture
Warlords
Pygro's
protocol
military.
initialized. Voting for the next sector. Select sector. Sector selected.
See if I can warp straight over there. Hey, that worked. Okay, we get a little... Oh no, I walked out of the zone. Oops.
Sector seized. Voting for the next sector. Select sector.
Okay, I want to do something way up. Yeah, go up there. So this give me a chance. Pygros is really close. I can test this real fast.
Select sector. Sector selected.
I think he is going to go to the middle. Yeah, he's going to the middle. There's also another helipad right here in the gap in this HESCO. And Pygros is a... Well, all these zones are circular, so we know it's going to be 200 meters. I'm going to climb a little bit above that case. The middle of the sector there is above, but let's go check. I have no altitude. I know there is some terrain variation in Pygros, but really it's not enough to show up on the map anywhere. Well, we know we're well above it, at 280. Cool. Let's just chill here for a second. See if I die. Okay, I am not dead. So I'm gonna go down, and since I don't actually know the exact middle height of Pygros, I might die a little bit before 200 meters, but should okay, we're down to 210, 205, 200, 295, and I'm dead. Okay, cool. So we know the So we know the adjustable value works. It's good. Set that back to 4,000. Save that, and let's totally misspelled that. Configurable, there we go. Alright, so now the easy part. We need to go to, this is the part where's a sector arrays. So I need to go find init. Get server init. I'm missing the actual init. So it's a net client. Got it. Okay, so what Mr. Thomas did was here on the add event handler. This is actually a pretty smart what he did. So when you die in Warlords, you lose access to your UAV terminal. That's the classic. Have you ever been in the game and someone is like, "Who stole my UAV?" Well, nobody stole your UAV. It's like you died, and the game doesn't automatically disconnect you from your UAV terminal that you're controlling. So what Mr. Thomas did is he added an additional block of code here under this event handler. which automatically disconnects you from your UAV terminal. So players can, as soon as they respawn, they get access to their terminal back. Yeah, it's kind of weird that the base game does not do this for you. Like automatically disconnect you. So I misspelled that. Try I spelled his name correctly. Oh, and let's jump into game real quick and test this. After death, players can reconnect. I feel weird putting periods at the end of these statements since they're not actual proper sentences, but it feels really strange not having periods there too. So get the game super fast.
Warlords protocol initialized. Voting for the next sector. Select sector.
Okay, and what we're going to do here is I'm going to do a loadout because now we have two event handlers there firing on the same event.
Sector selected.
And I don't know really anything about event handlers. I mean, I got a very basic idea of them, but I go NATO AA. And I am also, actually I need a terminal, is what I need. I need a terminal with a weapon, so I can see that. Okay, let's stick a launcher on my back just so I have something easy to see here. Okay, cool. There's no rockets in it. That's weird.
Select drop zone. Airdrop in progress.
Oh, he's locked right now. Unlock. There we go. Okay. I have access to that. Release UAV controls. And I'm not going to disconnect my terminal. So before, when I would die, since I was still connected to that, the game would take forever to actually disconnect me after I died. So I will respawn. And I should have no loadout, and I should be able, when I get a new loadout, I should be able to connect to that guy. Okay, I lost my loadout, so we know the loadout part of that code is running correctly. And if I do my last loadout, cool, last loadout is the same. I open up terminal, and boom. That is freaking awesome. What a cool fix. I would have, I'll say I would have never thought of that in 1,000 years, but I definitely, since I don't ever use drones and stuff, it was never a pressing issue for me. That's really cool. And we are all done. That is it. So I'll end the stream. I will be back streaming again tonight. I gotta get some real life work done. And after that, I can come back and we will be streaming Warlords, the very first stream of Warlords 4 Prologue, which is a like pre-Warlords 4. Let me do some tech work, like system work on Warlords 4 before it comes out, before Arma 4 comes out. If I get it into a working state some months down the road, I'll probably release it for Reforger, but I don't doubt it. I mean, I doubt it. I don't know. So, okay, I'll be back in a couple hours for some Warlords 4 streaming. See you guys then.